Hey, everybody, what's happening? I'm Tommy. This here's the Lifeboat, where we normally get together for some positive vibes, lifting each other up, trying to help people live their best life. Yeah, I've been doing this for about 3 years, and that's the normal routine around here. We're not going to do that tonight. My better half just hosted a show where she was allowing some people to come on if they wanted to and take shots. And if you're respectful, you can say what you want here. I'll answer questions. I got nothing to worry about. So, but if you're disrespectful, the mods are going to get rid of you. Mods, if the question is asked respectfully, with respect, you let it through, right? I'm not afraid of it. Let it through. But if it's disrespectful, if you're calling names, or if you're talking about anyone else in the chat, if you're talking about me, that's fine. But you can't talk about people who are here watching. You follow me? That's not cool. And I also don't want you talking about other content creators. The exception to that, right, would probably be Quibs, because very often we're kind of the same thing, I think, these days. In a lot of people's eyes, to be sure. Sandy Randy, good to see you. Mile High Hokey, what's happening? Shelly Kelly, there's Jen Marie, good Lord. Cup of Coffee, Yarn Prepper, Spike Z, what's happening? Alex Moore, beg your pardon? Okay. Hot Peps, Goosebumps 801. You know something? Here's the deal. This is going to happen, right? I'm glad you're all here. You're all seeing it. This happens every single time, right? This happens every single time. When you let somebody in and they really become close and they really become friends, inevitably, when they decide that they're leaving for whatever reason, they decide to try to burn everything to the ground. Here's the deal. From the day that I opened this channel, I've been real open and honest about who I am, where I came from, things that I've done. And while I'm not proud of the things that I've done in my past, I'm not apologizing to anybody for it either. I've paid my dues, right? I went to prison. I did the time. I've paid the fees, literally, right? All of that. Every single thing that you have to do, I've done. The newest nut, good to see you. Naomi, how are you? Allison Metcalf Palumbo. Well, I'm glad you're here. What's happening, Coach Lisa? If you don't have anything nice to say, shut your freaking pie hole. Yeah, it's always been a nice expression. I kind of like that. Miss Sunrise Dawn, good to see you. Charlie Murphy in the house. Charlie's going to be going like this. Oh man, we've done this 200 times. What you guys got to realize is if you're a mod, you got a wrench here, like Charlie, you've been around forever, right? Or you've been a part of the boat for that long. There's a lot of people that have. They've heard this crap 100 times. Every time a new batch of trolls comes out, they got to tell the world that my real name isn't Tommy Scoville. Like, I haven't talked about that. Like, my real name, my birth name isn't sitting in 400 places, right? I've not tried to hide this in any way. It was a stage name to protect my family, in particular my brother's kids, while he was doing YouTube as Johnny Scoville. And he had talked a lot about his baby brother, Tommy. So I didn't really have much of a choice. As it turns out, I love it. I'm definitely a Tommy. Dominic, good to see you. Indigo Twin. Indigo Twin says, I think you talk about Quibs a lot. It's like you're together or something. Oh, crap. They're on to me. They're on to me. Cup of coffee, good to see you. Goddess Divine, what's happening? Chrissy Akers, what's happening? Chill in the Valley. Hey, Kim Hallman. West Coast Fancy Nancy's in the house. Trish Ryan, I absolutely love you. Trish, I will absolutely do that. All righty. I'm sorry. I've not been in contact with a lot of people since I had to go to the ER. I just haven't been able to. And spending a lot of time on my back. I've been talking to my girlfriend, and I've been talking to Spanx Calhoun a lot. And outside of that, people playing with the cat too. Mama D, good to see you. Brucey, what's happening? You would like my opinion on PTSD? I think, first of all, obviously, PTSD is not something that people could debate. This is a very serious medical condition. I don't think it's a disorder. I think that might not be the right way to say it. And I think we're probably still figuring that out. Because PTSD is something that happens. It's not something you're born with, right? This is something that usually happens from trauma. I don't know. I feel like we need a different name for it if you want to know the truth. But I think that everything, no matter what the mental illness is, it gets back to the same treatment every single time, right? Start journaling. Start getting up in the morning, making your bed, doing the crap that you're supposed to do. If you're pretending that you're successful, if somebody were to film you, right, for the course of one day, and you were to think, oh man, I got to make a really good impression on whoever's watching this one. I really got to make a damn good impression right now. What would you do? How would you do life differently? Okay. When you figure that out, do that for a month and watch what happens to you. Life will dramatically change. V. McWilliams, good to see you. Cinderella's glass slipper, I love you. I'm glad you're here. Kestrel, feel the same way. Just Lisa. Yes, this is a common pattern, Kestrel. I go through this every time we get new people. We got to do this again. I come back on and someone will go, do you know that he did infomercials on TV? Like this dude was ripping people off. Maybe you're brand new and maybe you've caught the last 5 shows. But if you go back and watch the shows that I've done, man, I talk a lot about my criminal history. I mean, I literally put it all out, man. It's all out. Naomi says, Reese is a tough lady. Not going to jump in the ring with her unless it's a hug ring. Well, I don't know that I would want to jump in the ring with her either. Kristen Melinda, good to see you. Curtis, I am feeling well, and I thank you for asking. Honestly, Lucinda, good to see you. I feel pretty good. I do. I wish that this didn't happen because, someone had asked me, did this slow down me getting out of here? I mean, not like I had a flight that I had to catch, right? But anytime something like this happens, it sort of throws your schedule back a little bit, right? And that's not any fun. But trust me, I'm going to get there ASAP. Gamer Jack, he says, the haters won't do stuff publicly. Roaches scatter when the lights come on. Yeah, there's a lot of truth to that. There is a lot of truth. Lisa Trimble. You know something? Absolutely. Absolutely. And Lisa is, you hear me talk a lot about having a sobriety family that you assemble a group of people that you can call whenever, right? Whenever. Lisa is in my 5. And it's been remarkable to watch her growth. I really love being a part of that process, Lisa. You're fantastic. You really are. Hot Pep says, I won't judge you for your past, as I would hope you won't judge me for mine. Well, that's a really beautiful concept, isn't it? I think that's what the world is supposed to do. Now, my past is uglier than yours. It is. My past is not particularly pleasant. But there's a lot of people out there that would like to make up stuff from my past that did not happen, right? And these are really easy things. Like everybody's up in arms. These are super easy things. What I'm accused of is being an SO. You know what that is? It's an offender of the you-know-what kind. If I am, I would have to register. I am offended as hell that I have to go through this every other month, but we'll do it again. I would have to register. Right? Really easy to look up. My name is there. Really easy to look up, right? Everyone in the world knows what my last address was because I got doxxed. They knew. They could have looked right then, and they did. And there was no registered offender at that house, right? But truth doesn't mean anything to these people. They throw shit because they know that some of you aren't going to see anything but the shit hitting, right? And that's the business model, right? Just say really ridiculously outrageous things and sweep up about 4%, right? Who go, holy crap, I want to hear more. Shauna B says, betrayal is rough. I'm sorry you guys are going through this. Yeah, well, this one hurt. I'm not going to lie to you. This one hurt. Kestrel, it's pretty funny, isn't it? By the way, the name of the infomercial that I did that is so top secret, right, that everybody's out feeling really slick about was called the 30-minute money system. Never tried to hide this crap. Never. Came on here and talked about, I'll tell you how much we ripped it off for. I've already given you the dirt. You think Yeah, we can absolutely show you as well. But you think it sounds bad when someone else tells it? How about $56 million in sales in 14 months? I don't hide from my past, right? Not proud of the crap that I did, but we around here, we own it. Feel me? Own your past. One tough chick. Massive cootie festival here. But I'm trying not to shut that show down. If I can laugh at it, I can beat it. Well, it sounds cool. One tough chick. Roberta, that sums it up. Tommy, the way I see it, I love Reese. I love you. Enough said. Love that. Bacon Bits, good to see you. Hello, Elizabeth. I promise you, I am focusing on the positivity. But immediately there were people saying, oh, you're going to give people an opportunity to do that? Absolutely. You want to come on and ask me a question that you think normally the wrenches would get rid of? Knock yourself out, honestly. Again, everybody here has heard it. Well, I shouldn't say that because a lot of you are new. But the people that have been here a long time, man, we've done this dance, and we've done it again, and we've done it again, and we've done it again. And people say, where do the rumors come from? The cult of Scientology, right? If you find yourself on one of those places that's trashing me, scroll all the way down to the bottom and see who owns that site. And you will find that the cult isn't fond of me. And you know what? I'm proud as hell of that. Not for nothing. I really am. I think that's pretty cool. If I'm on their radar, I'm digging it. Sash P, thank you. I am feeling pretty good, honestly. That's not your name? Well, I'll be damned. Well, here's the funniest part, right? Last name Scoville. And what's my brother famous for? Eating peppers, right? And how hot a pepper is judged on a scale called the Scoville scale. You just thought this was a wicked big coincidence? Johnny Scoville? I mean, for the love of God, people, you know? And it's funny because every time somebody is giving me crap about it, they'll have a name like Ghost Donkey 357. And you're like, the hell is up? You're giving me crap about what I'm calling myself. So you were born Ghost Donkey 357? I don't think that's what mom, I don't think that's your Christian name. I don't think that's how you were christened as a kid. Yes, I love that. Yes, Indigo. It's really kind of funny because it is honestly always such a scoop. You know what I mean? Like people are like, "Holy crap, man! Do you know this isn't the dude's name?" It's like, did you go to the YouTube page? Because if you go there and go to the about section, you're gonna figure out real quick what my birth name was. Never tried to hide it. Never tried to hide it. My last name isn't Sanity. Lynn, I do not believe this. Now I feel really ripped. I really figured you were Lynn Sanity. Jen Marie says, hang on, I got to grab my pearls. You know, it's really the truth, right? Welcome to time 2001. And you know what? We're going to do it again, right? The name does fit me, right? People say this all the time. I don't look like a Brett. I get this a lot, that I just don't look like a Brett. And I'll be honest with you. I don't know that it fits anymore either. I really don't. And I absolutely love Tommy. We have done all of the research on this. And I was planning on doing the name change, not in this state, but in the other one, because currently I'm spending more time there than here. And I have to, there's a whole process where you have to run it in the newspaper. There's a lot that goes into it, but I promise you, I'm in the process. This is something that I'm going to do because inevitably I run into problems. Inevitably. This is a thing in life. You know, I've had people mail me checks to Tommy Scoville. And then you go down to the bank and they go, now my bank is cool. My bank understands that I am two people, right? They will cash Tommy Scoville checks all day, but most banks are not like that. What? Didn't know you had a different screen name to protect your privacy? Who would do that, right? Who would do that? And that B says, you are definitely a Tommy. You know something? Brandy, you're a fine girl. Good to see you, Brandy. No, you know what? I shouldn't have done this, but Kristen Melinda is right. Next, I will be telling you that Spanky's real name is not Spanks. You got me. You got me. I didn't give him that name until he was about 2. And actually, somebody else gave him that name. And I am dating Reese. You know, dating might not be the right way to put it. Hold on one second. That is scary. Thoughts and prayers for Trish. I know in the beginning of any kind of procedure like this, and this is a big one, a cochlear implant's a big deal. There's going to be some break-in period, Trish, and there's going to be times where they got to mess with this and it's going to be a pain in your ass, but stick with it. The 10,000 thing, it's kind of a bummer, but please do stick with this, right? Don't give up hope, because it's a pretty impressive, technology. It's absolutely remarkable what they do with that, Trish, and I have really high hopes for you. I really do. Sorry, Sunrise, can't port the special emoji over from Aaron's channel. Well, there you go. What's that? My real name isn't my other's keeper either. Man, I am really starting to feel like all of you are a bunch of BSers, man. I don't know that I can hang out with you. My former crew is harassing me. Yeah, Shannon Smith. I'll be a very close friend of mine has just decided that it is what it is. This is not new. Let me tell you a couple of things about YouTube. Your biggest fan is that close to being your biggest troll. That's the truth. And it's one sentence. They hear the wrong thing on the wrong day and they become a super troll. And then they just decide that they want to destroy you. It's really odd. Very weird phenomenon, but it's the truth. Right? It's like they start watching you and then you kind of grow and they start going, you know what? He thinks he's cool now. I was with this fool when he had 150 subscribers. Who the hell does this dude think he is? Take him down a peg. And then they start doing those campaigns where they trash you. And you know what? I'm not rising to it. I'm not trashing anybody back. You know, seriously. It's like Quib said. I think at this point they'd really like us to hate. I think they'd really like us to come out here and fire with both barrels. I'll answer some questions, but who are the people talking and all of that stuff? I'm not going to do that. Okie Mom, you know something? It's really funny how you say that. Lumen says present, and I will throw hands if needed. Lumen, I love you. That is so awesome. Hello, Marion Calabro. Good to see you. Cooler by the lake. I'm sorry. Cooler by the lake. See what happened there? You know something? Truthfully and honestly, you may not believe this because Quibs just did a show. They're not renting any space in their head. I'm telling you, they're not. We after this after this was brought to our attention and we got a chance to talk about it, we just sat down and kind of giggled. We did it on a FaceTime and we're just like, honestly, this is never going to stop. This is never going to stop. And you understand why, right? I'm sitting and I'm talking to you people and someone will put $5 up that says, hey, I love what you're doing, right? I love what you're doing. That if you've had a channel that does not make it, oh God, do you hate this? Watching someone who's making a living talking into a microphone in their house. Oh man, haters, they're all failed YouTubers, right? And I don't want anyone to fail at anything. But the real problem with all of these people is they didn't understand what the definition of success was going forward. And this is a great life lesson to everybody, right? Everybody on the globe. What is success? If you go into your next project and you haven't absolutely laid down and delineate what is success, you might sit there and continue to work for years and years and never know you were there and never know you weren't, right? It's a very important thing to define it. And when the lifeboat was starting, I'm not joking. This isn't a sales pitch. I wanted 6 people. Thought if we could get 6 people to get help, I would feel fantastic. Hockey Town John, it's an honor, man. It's an honor, Hockey Town John. Love you, man. Good to see you. But that's real talk. That is real talk. I simply am not going to buy into it. Hey, Miss Zippy. Hi from Tucson. Boy, did you get a little monsoon earlier? Because me and my son did. By the way, what? I have my son here. I don't know that I'd mentioned that. But Spanx Calhoun is in the house. He's actually, yeah, that's what I was doing. We've been working together for most of the afternoon. After Spanky went out and did a little swimming, a chance to hang out. Yeah, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, right? Do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell for notification, because then every time we go live, you'll hear about it, right? And hit that thumbs up, because believe it or not, it does help us. And that pisses off the haters. If for no other reason, there's a good one. Confessions. My real name is Allison Metcalf Palumbo, but my channel is not under my name. You know something? Otter Dancer, I think PTSI makes a lot more sense. I really do. Oh, I'm sorry, one tough chick. When you start getting feelings of, of vertigo, or where you start feeling dizzy, it's one of the worst feelings in the world. My heart goes out to you. Thoughts and prayers, really, one tough chick. That's awful. Over the years, I've become a firm believer in the parable of the fig tree. You guys are my orchard. You know what, Dominic? I love that. I really do. I love that. Tommy, how would you feel about making up with former boaters who accidentally set you off in the bad old days? So how's that question? Okay, here's the thing. Really good timing for this too, because somebody reached out to me 2 days ago. But when somebody reaches out to you, and this person literally has been a part of a couple of hundred videos, right, that call me everything from a sex offender to someone doing bestiality, or they would talk about my dead father's sexual preferences, right? Talking about some lowlifes. Now, if you did that for a couple of years and all of a sudden you have seen the light and had a come to Jesus moment, you're probably going to have to stick around on the boat for a long ass time before I start believing that. Feel me? These are people who have really gone out of their way to plot little cool things to try to make the boat look dumb. I am not adverse to anybody who genuinely, right, wants to change their life. And I promise you, these people aren't doing what they're doing because they're not getting wasted. These are the behaviors of people that are getting high. I'm sorry. You know what? I love that. Get back there and do it. Yeah, PTSI. I prefer injury to disorder. Hi, Tommy and crew friends. I am visiting my mom till Monday in Northern Ontario. This city girl is getting relaxed time in a beautiful small town. Good for you. Good for you. That sounds awesome. Trish Ryan says, you are a great guy. You know something? I appreciate that. And this is something that people say all of the time. And I've come on and done this before. I have gotten a reputation. And this is just kind of how things go. You don't control stuff like this. You really don't. But the narrative on me is that I tend to be somebody that is going to support women, right? So the new thing is that I am a scumbag to women, right? That I am a misogynist. I'm a woman hater. This is one of the. Now I want to tell you something, right? Straight up. There's a book coming out, and I've talked about this so many times on my channel. The way I treated women prior to getting sober is nothing that I can be proud of at all. Plain and simple, I was a dirtbag. But I was a dirtbag in every other part of my life. Sex, which should not have been any different, honestly. Everything I did was just wrong. All right. I love that. I love that. That is so cool. And I hope that Quib sees that, because she would love that. The military has remade it PDSI, the I for injury. Good. I honestly think that makes a lot more sense. I have it, and I can tell you when the injury happened. I can tell you exactly the moment that happened, and I have been a different camper since. This was no disorder. This was a friggin' injury, right? I remember the day. We just wrote about it, actually. Okay, Mom, I'm glad I don't have anyone's number off YouTube, and I am not in any secret groups, nor am I in any Discord. You know, here's the thing, and this has come up a bunch of times too. Someone will send me screenshots that one of you will be in the chat of a troll. I don't care. You may not believe that. I don't care. I have gone through the last 3 years by never answering to them. I don't answer to them. I don't fire back at them. I don't do any of that garbage, right? Because what they want is relevance. They're irrelevant. They don't have a platform, right? That's what pisses them off. Pisses them off that I'm talking to almost 300 people, right? That bothers them. And I can get that. I think I would probably be bummed out if I couldn't have gotten the 6 people that I wanted for the channel. But to me, that was success. Most of these people that hate me have hundreds of people. I don't know where they set the bar at. Maybe that doesn't make them happy. You may not believe this. I was super happy when I thought 6 people had been helped. Lost Mittens, good to see you. Sweet Liberty, what's happening? Baby steps, post-traumatic stress injury. Love that. You're just bummed that you've never seen the infomercial. I will get a link to the infomercial so you can go and look at it. It's pretty funny, actually. They're looking back on it now, because it's just nothing ever stands the test of time, like the styles and the stuff that we're wearing. I'll let you guys get a look at it. I'm not ashamed of it. Yeah, Spanky can put a link up to it. Doesn't bother me in the slightest. I struggle so much with journaling. I want to just struggle to sit and start. Okay, look. Here's the important thing. Mara, thank you so much. Yeah, Debbie P, we're putting the link up right now for one of those infomercials, and you can go and watch it as much as you want. This was a business opportunity infomercial, right? Business opportunity, like, we're going to teach you how to make X amount of money in X amount of time. I made $15,000 in 4 hours using this system, right? That's it. That's what we were doing. Sharona, you were introduced to many of us on Aaron's channel, and it was because you are a crim and could explain some things to us. You were honest from the jump. F those people that are trying to cause trouble. Well, it's funny, because honestly, that is kind of what I'm known for, right? Like, if you're going to call me in as an expert, right? You're going to call me in on an expert about prison or drugs. Those are the two things. Someone on the other channel was really bummed out that I use cannabis. And I understand. If you came from the 12-step model, if you came from the model where it is 100% abstinence, it is complete sobriety and the abstinence of any substance on earth, then you're never going to groove to what I do. You're not, because I'm not that person. I'm not. Doesn't make any sense to me. To me, it seems like a really bad idea. In the time I've been doing this, I have watched so many people trade unbelievably bad addictions for a small weed habit. And I find myself saying, why would I tell this person that they're screwing up? Seems like a really great trade, And then it's harm reduction, right? You can continue to work. You can continue to do harm reduction until maybe abstinence is what you're shooting for. But if it's not, you still have a home here. Sorry. It's really odd, the things that piss people off. Filled with so much anxiety tonight that I am just staring at my journal, holding my breath. How do you just start writing? Okay, well, here you go. This is a good, everybody pay attention, right? This is a good one, for real. So I'll just do this. Wow, am I behind? I am awful at this. Susan, thank you so much. I am feeling better. I'm like 45 minutes behind, Calhoun. It's awful. It's almost embarrassing. Really? I'm still not caught up? There's no way. Karma Chameleon, good to see you. Been a lurker for about a year now. You and Reese have inspired me to make small changes to improve my life. Thank you. That is all. Thank you again, Susan. Really appreciate you. That is funny. I love the that is all. I really do. I love the that is all. So, all right, look, today, all day long, I was here, right? and I was on my back. They didn't want me in the seated position too much. So I would sit down and write, spent almost all day on my back. Reached out to Spanx to talk about, and I'm not going to share what we talked about, right? Reached out to Quibs to talk about. No reason to share what we were talking about either. And then right towards the end of the day, this thing that got, this thing that involved the both of us, this impending, that we're going to be stomped off the planet or some such crap. I don't know. But this thing came up. I write down exactly what happens in my day, right? I guarantee you know what happened to you today. Yeah, you know what happened to you today. Sit down and write down what happened to you. Plain and simple. The reason we're doing this is not just because we want a record of this, or not just because we're organizing this before we go to bed so that the night shift, the subconscious, has a much easier time working through whatever our problem was. Those are great things, right? But we're also making a couple of parts of the brain get together and hang out, right? The emotional part of the brain that's got us pissed off at people that are talking about us behind our back and all of this stuff. I grab that pen and I sit down, and in order to be able to write, I have to engage the higher functioning, right? The executive functioning of my brain has to kick in order for me to be able to write. And that has to trump my emotional card every single time. Booyah. Now I'm not sitting there gritting my teeth anymore because I can't do that and still have the ability to write. I can slow the chat down, and I probably need to. I used to have a friend that would come in here and work with me very closely on that. He's no longer with the boat. It's a bit of a bummer, but it is the way that things happen, sadly, right? People make decisions and they go with it, and it is what it is. If it works, work it, baby. Thank you, Dominic. Love it. So it's a pretty simple concept. Hello, Brittany. My doctor has asked me if I take THC to help with my anxiety. She recommended it. A lot of docs do. We can't decide what someone should and shouldn't do or take. Sobriety looks different for everybody. You know what? That's a great comment, Brittany. That's a great comment. And why are you up in somebody's business, worried about what their journey looks like? Honestly, why would that upset you? I don't know. It's and I'll be honest. When I first started trying cannabis to take care of the dreams, the reason I didn't try it 9 months earlier was because of you. And I remember having the conversation with Spanky. I remember having the conversation with my brother. They're going to absolutely lose their shit when I tell them that I'm going to be taking gummies. And, there are people that want to yell at me. There are people that want to hate me. And this is as good an excuse as any other. But I'm not backing down from it either. Because in all honesty, I do think it works well. That's our Reese, correct. Putting the you know what in the you know where. Yes, I do know where. And I do know what. Did I miss her last one? There she is. Yep, I see it. I see it. I love you, Quibs. I'm glad you're here. She cracks me up too, all of the time. For real, all the time. I wish you guys could see. We were just talking about this. When I get back to Tennessee and we start filming again, we would like to figure out a way where we can do some filming of some behind the scenes stuff, like set up some cameras in the room and just let them go and forget about them, kind of a thing. Because I think if you could see how we are together when the cameras aren't rolling, it's considerably funnier. I promise you it is. Talk to your doctor is a good call. It's a very good call. I know many people who use gummies to help with their migraine attacks. Yep, that's becoming pretty popular. He is cute, isn't he, Mary? It's my boy. Fear of someone else's failure. Well, people build you up in their head, right? And all of a sudden, you're this guru, right? That they think, holy crap, this guy's got answers. And why? Because everybody really wishes that somebody did. So if you're sitting there feeling like you don't have all the answers and someone starts saying some things that really make sense, you start going, oh, wow, right? Maybe this person kind of does have answers. Maybe this is something that I can use to actually improve my life, right? But then you find out that the guy's been eating gummies, and it literally knocks your legs out from underneath you, because in the model that you have lived in your entire life, it's all or nothing, right? I'm a fraud. I take THC at night. I'm a fraud. And I take buprenorphine in the morning, medical assisted treatment. I'm not sober. Ask anybody, right? Ask our girlfriend, the one that was in the last chat. I'm not sober. According to all of those people, I promise you I'm sober. I promise you this has been the greatest harm reduction thing in the world for me. And I'm pretty damn happy with it. I really am. That's a great comment. It's a great comment. Very often it's how we get control of the things that are absolutely out of control. Those things that we can't even wrap our dome around. Where do I start? How do I attack this? Right? Where do I even begin? You ever have that feeling where you're just friggin' overwhelmed? Huh? I do. Sitting down and starting that journaling process, kicking on the higher functions of my brain and making them play cards with the emotional part of my brain. Yeah, really works well for me. Naomi says there's a big difference between THC and heroin. You're damn right. There really is. There is a really big difference. Giggity. Tommy, I am hurt the infomercial. There's no mullet. Why did you kill the mullet? Have you no heart? It was still the 80s. No, in my defense, it was the 90s. Okay? It was the 90s. So the haircut that I have in that is the 90210. Seriously, the 1990s, awful. There was a lot of product in my hair. Oh, the 90s was a decade of a lot of hair product for guys. Yeah, sit down and journal. Here's why, Tommy, because they worked hard to be sober, by God. And the thing is, they may be sober. They ain't happy about it. And if they're miserable, they need company, damn it. You know what, Tommy Bird? Boy, you nailed that. You really nailed that. How about a little white knuckle in it? I'm sober. That prick isn't. He's eating gummies. Hey, take a deep breath. If that's how you're doing your sobriety, for real, if you're gritting your teeth to stay sober, get high. For real. At least when you're getting high, you're happy 2 or 3 times a day. If you're white knuckling it and gritting your teeth and doing this number, there's no happiness. From the time you get up to the time you go to bed, you're literally fighting what you think is your human nature. It's not your human nature, but you need to get realigned, right? And friggin' quick. The End of Musing says, just curious, how does reformation of PTSD sit with PTSD? I am totally in favor of the use of injury. My brain is fogging up. My brain is fogging up as well. Trish Ryan says, Tommy and Reese are so genuine. You know what? I appreciate you saying that. It's one of the things that we probably hear more than anything else. Or people will say, you can absolutely see the chemistry through the screen. And I love that. I really do. I love that. I think that that's a really cool thing. The reformation of PTSD. I'm not sure I understand exactly what you're asking me. Where does the reformation of PTSD sit with complex PTSD? I don't know that CPTSD would be any different. Honestly, it should be across the board the same. I was not an extra, Jen Marie. I had a day player's contract. I will thank you. Miss Sunrise Dawn, Spanx Calhoun put the link somewhere for the infomercial. So it's somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah, Ben says Spanx posted it. So you can go look at it. You'll see me a couple of minutes in, but I'm throughout the entire thing. You see me coming on and going off a bunch. I throw a backflip on it. There's a clip of me doing a backflip. My Other's Keeper says, as a hairdresser in the 90s, I made a lot of money selling products to guys. Yeah, I was one of them. I know a lot of sober people who are on a ton of pills. I say gummies are better. Yeah, I do too. And you know something? I'm never, ever going to be the person to sit here and go, you're not sober. You're not sober. She's sober. He's not. What the hell is that, man? Honest to God, you want that job title? That's the one you want? Man, enjoy that crap. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you. But if that's really the one you want, man, start journaling. Sit down and start writing because you need help. Big time. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. No, we does not do work for everybody. Nothing works for everybody. You feel me? Nothing works for everybody. There is no one size fits all, people. There's not. By the way, is anybody not going to tell me that I was a pretty handsome guy back in the 90s? Come on, people. I looked all right with hair. No? I was in good shape. I really was. I probably look happier now than I did then. You know, that's real talk. I probably look a lot happier now than I did then. And I am. When I was doing the infomercial, it was terrifying. It really was. There was so much money on the line with that, and we knew what we were doing was scummy. At least I sure did. Wow, I feel like I am among friends. So many of you are dealing with the same or similar things as me. Sending love and strength to you all. Ginny, do you know why that is? Because we're all in the same boat. It's not just a clever name. That's how this started. To quote a line from a Batman movie, some people just want to watch the world burn. This is what a troll wants. You're absolutely right. You and Reese deserve happiness, and we're taking it. I promise you we're taking it, right? We are really having a good time. Dominic says, our drug of choice is in the self-destructive sense, is but a symptom of the real problem. Absolutely. I can get behind anyone who is genuinely doing their best. Got to fill that void with something. What's your niche, right? Honestly, what are you going to fill? Because you do have to come up with what you're going to do for large blocks of time. Because for the last however long, for me, it was 3 decades, right? For the last 3 decades, I got up in the morning, one assignment. The assignment was to get dope. Okay? That was it. Nothing else mattered. That was it. Is Squirrel's real name Lisa Trimble? You are hysterical. That is a great question. I don't know who outed her, right? But I can't tell you what her real name is, but yeah, she's using a stage name. Squirrel Nut Zipper is a stage name. You know, she's pretty popular. We're a little freaked out, you know. Got to keep an eye on her. She's kind of a rock star. Been successful at work, but struggle with procrastination at home. Any advice? Well, what do you think causes procrastination? All right. I think if you can figure out what is causing that, right? Then it's a whole lot easier to work on. And you're going to have to do it with your journal. For me, procrastination was always fear. I feared that I couldn't get it done in time. And that fear starts making me uncomfortable in my own skin. And I go, F this. And I put it completely away and I don't deal with it, which makes it worse. Yeah. So that moment where you go, screw this, man, screw this. Like I'm doing this now. That's when everything will stop, right? That's when everything in your life as a procrastinator will completely change. Wow, Graceful Swan, you got cotton mouth so bad that it would make you quit? That's awful. Honestly, I've never heard anybody complain that bad about dry mouth. That is awful. I always thought addicts could rule the world if they could redirect the energy needed to hustle for their drug of choice every day to do something positive. Oh my God. I have thought about this a million times. A million times. How about just this for an example? What if for 30 years I didn't go, I got to hustle up $700 and go buy heroin, right? And stick it in my arm. What if I went, I got to go hustle up $700 with the same kind of, I have to get this done, and I bought gold. I've done the math. It's the most depressing thing in the world. It really is. It's the most depressing thing in the world, especially since when I started doing this stuff, it was about $380 a gram for gold. Awful. Interesting. Exactly. It's just CPTSD. PTSD is like getting cut down by a chainsaw. And CPTSI is like getting cut down by an axe that never stops. It's pretty terrifying stuff. I fear success. What will I have to be responsible for if I succeed? Well, and the other thing is, right, that deep inside your brain, right, deep inside your brain, you know how to fail. And it is our default setting. We're so comfortable with failure. I use the example every time because it's such a great example, but I use the example of the gambler. He can hit a jackpot for $20,000 at 9 o'clock on a Friday night. And he's not going to leave that casino until he gives it all back, because the only thing he understands is empty pockets, wasted gambling slips in his hand that are all losers, and that feeling of desperation that I got to hit the next one or it's over. If I don't win the next bet, it really isn't any different. We're all in the same boat. It's really obvious, right, when you look at gambling. But that fear of being successful, that fear of all of a sudden not having empty pockets, not feeling like a loser. When all of a sudden you got $400 in your pocket, you got $3,000 in your bank account, which has never happened to you in your life, right? And you sit there going, what in the hell? Right? FYI, if I stop commenting, it's because I fell asleep. I still need to self-waterboard. Wow, need to do a sinus flush. Yeah, the self-waterboarding is a pretty good way to describe it. If you don't have a Navage, you really ought to get one. Navage is the best. They use that. It's suction. One nostril is sucking and the other one's blowing it up, and it just goes around in this circle. It's beautiful. It really is. Did Reese leave? I hope so, because it's really late where she's at, and I want Quibs to get some sleep. She didn't get into a whole lot today on her channel, but she said that there is somebody in her life that is at the end of their life, and I've been watching for what this has been doing to her for a really long time, and yeah, I wish I was there now to help her. I wish I was there now to be able to be there to help. Unfortunately, that wasn't possible at the moment with health and all that. But I promise you, people, I'm gonna get there quickly. I really am. But yeah, I hope she's asleep. You're in the same time zone as Reese. I wish I was. I really do. I wish I was. But I did have a lot to get done. Squirrels actually make their own cache of hardened maple syrup by peeling bark off sugar maple trees in the crook of a branch and have a sugar lick. That is the coolest thing ever. I knew I loved squirrels. Yeah, Dominic says, don't listen to that little voice that says it's okay, you can do it later. And if it's overwhelming, break it down into bite-sized pieces, right? If the project in front of you looks so big that you're like, oh man, I can't do this. This is so big. There's no chance that I can do this. No. Break it up. Take that big, enormous thing and break it down into pieces that you can neck and swallow, right? So that you can make this thing a reality. Tommy, you driving back? I remember you saying something about not flying. Yes, I am not going to be driving back. Not this time. Yeah, not this time. The next time. I probably will drive because the next time I will probably bring squirrel nut zipper. Naomi says, I hate that she's gone through so much in like a year and a half. She needs an easy year to recover from this one. She does. No one on earth deserves an easier year than Quib. And by the way, to the defectors, what a little grace, man. Honest to God, what makes a person into the kind of people like this? It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't, especially people that used to sit and talk about this. Like I've had conversations with these people about what trolls are, what kind of people they are. It's really amazing how fast, right? The cult of personality can change a human being. Really can. I'd like an easy year to make up for the last 18 months, says Jen Marie. I feel you, Jen Marie. And I don't think my last 18 months have been nearly as difficult as yours. But I sure would like to see a really nice, easy year for Quibs. Make a small goal. Have to clean a room? Start with a 5x5 square. Each time you finish a small goal, it will give you a serotonin jump. You're absolutely right. Q used to say, start with what you look at all day, every day, right? Start with what you look at. So if my cell wasn't clean, like if there was anything out of place in my cell, he would just crap all over me. He really would. He would walk in and go, you know what? This is disgusting. I can't believe you live like this. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? And he'll point out the 3 things that were out of place. But it was a really big thing for me to start with that one small spot. And if I looked around and saw anything, if there was something lying there or whatever it was, I was going to straighten that puppy up because that little closet was all I had. Right? That little teeny ass cell was the only thing I had. And you start to take pride in it like you wouldn't believe. It's crazy, but you really do. 12-step programs really focus on honesty. I know the Lifeboat is harm reduction focused. Does honesty fit in the same? How important is it to success? Well, the fruit of addiction is lying, right? Bottom line, addicts lie to protect their habit. They have to continue to lie because if they tell people what they're really doing, everyone will try to intervene and make them stop doing drugs. You follow me? So honesty is probably the most important thing that you can have going forward. I love that. But yeah, and honesty, especially, hey Spanky, honesty, especially among people that are trying to have a relationship or do anything going forward, nothing on planet Earth is more important than that. If you don't build that on anything but trust, right, and faith, then you're not going to have a decent relationship. You're just not. Fingers crossed. Reese has been my rock, and I would do anything for her. You know what? I would too. I would do anything. I probably, if I had to go back to Kansas City right now and do it again, I'd probably do it. But it would be tough. No, Spanky did not cut his hair. He's just been swimming. Yeah. So it's what? How important is honesty to success? That's what I just answered. It is the most important thing to success. There isn't anything more important than honesty, and that starts with honesty to yourself. People talk about denial, and it gets way more ink than I think it is real. Everybody knows. I'm sorry. I mean, there are people. I guess if you're a social drinker or whatever, you can try to do that. Maybe I'm not addicted or whatever. But honesty with yourself. Right? Honesty with yourself. I'm out of control. I cannot control myself. Or I'm a rageaholic. Or I'm an ass. Whatever it is you need to work on, if you're not honest with yourself and writing that down, then there's nowhere you can go from there. They are amazing, aren't they, Ginny? Passenger shaming. Oh, Tommy, I only get to pop on for a few here and there. How is Reese doing? Hope everything is great with you all. She's fantastic. She really is. She is fantastic. There are still, Reese has got to, she's getting a really good dose of YouTube, right? I just celebrated 3 years and she just celebrated a year. We were like a day off on our anniversaries. My brother, Johnny, I think has been doing it 7 years, 6 or 7 years, something like that. So the trolls have been doing this to me on and off for 3 years, mostly on, right? And you get to a point where you really do just sort of disconnect it all. And in the beginning, I remember her saying, "Nobody trolls me. It's because I'm not that popular. I'm not that." And I'd go, "Oh man, you just have no idea. It's coming. I promise." Darla says, "Longtime listener, Tommy, first time engaging. Comment, Reese, how does she keep it together?" I'll tell you what. She is someone who is absolutely, she's doing everything that you need to do to recover, right? And it would work for recovering from anything. It happens to be that she's recovering from leaving one cult and one incredibly controlling group, right? Sorry. So she's journaling. She's working with a therapist. She has a peer support group that's bulletproof. And she talks about the things that are upsetting her every day without fail. She talks about them. She journals about them. She does it every single day. So she's working through stuff. I've never seen anybody take to therapy and take to all of this with the same gusto. Over 9 years, Miss Dragon? Good Lord. 9 years ago. I think I was still inside. I think I was on vacation. SMSP. Chameleon. Really hard not to love that song. I don't care who you are. Really, really hard not to love that song. I love this. I said the same thing. And I'll be honest, right? You do have to have thick skin to do this, right? But you can't have thick skin and do what Reese does the way Reese does it. Honest to God, like I've been living with her, right? Prior to coming back here, I was living with her for months, right? And every day we would sit down and have long conversations, but she could go through, right? We would watch a video from the previous night and she could literally tell me every single person, that person's getting a divorce. This person is, they're getting ready to move. She's waiting to hear if she got a job. She just lost 14 pounds. She knows what's happening with every single person. And you cannot kind of harden yourself up, right? Leave yourself open at the same time. And if she's got to go one route, I'm pretty happy that she's erring on the side of the kindness, right? I'll be there, I promise. She is a unicorn, no question. 18 years passenger shaming. I love what you do. I love this. Started my journal tonight. I am watching The Lifeboat, and he made a small difference again. Well, how about that? Love that. Love that. Yeah, Reese amazes me too. And you know what, people, just so that you all know, I don't want Reese to rush into anything either. I know all of you are like aunts and big sisters and best friends and older brothers and younger brothers, and everybody really wants to protect her from doing anything too fast. And I'm not going to let that happen. I promise I'm not. I really am. I intend to look out for her in a really big way. And I don't care how long this takes. I'm having a friggin' ball. We can hang out and do this forever. We really can. I spent much of the evening reading the SPTV Unvarnished Reddit thread, and I feel like I need a shower. Absolutely sickening to hear these trolls from their little caves. I won't make that mistake again. Hockey Town John, I love you. And it's one of those things that people, I hear this a lot. People will go over, and a lot of times it's curiosity, it's whatever. And when you see how this stuff is packaged, and they literally are accusing her of killing Fred. That's so effed up. It's hard to wrap your brain around. It really is. It's just one of the ugliest things. That is funny. That really is funny. I love that. The Silkwood shower. Yes, that's just what I was thinking. You're in my thoughts and prayers, Mary. Good to see you. Hope you're hanging in there, hon. I am too. I am wildly proud of how far she has come since she left the cult, and since she was outed. And I truthfully believe that you guys are the cause of 90% of that. Her having her channel and opening up, and all of you accepting her and making her realize she was intelligent, she was beautiful, and all these things that she hadn't been hearing. I think that it's been pretty unbelievable to see how that therapy works out. Can you see that? There we go. That's Calhouni in his cut. Robin Miners, are you here? That is the leather. That was sent in here, I believe. Got that yesterday. Calhoun is looking pretty sharp.
Thank you.
You know what, Barbie? There's something to this. How bad does someone's life have to be? We live in a really weird world. You guys do understand this now, right? This is a really strange thing. Think about this for a second. This is the first time in history where you don't need to know anything. You don't need to know anything. Why is the sky blue? You can ask your phone, right? Ask the S woman's name and ask her why the sky is blue, and she's going to tell you. And you can do this with anything, right? Anything. So the only things that really differentiate people now are things like communication skills, sense of humor, stuff like that. And those things tend to get really put on display on YouTube, right? Well, Quib's one of those people. She's one of those people that from the very first time you watch, she makes you laugh, right? Betrayal is tough, Lumen. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I have had my best friend turn troll, I think 3 times now. It's just, I think it's something that you start getting used to. Your biggest fan is that far away from being a troll, and your biggest troll is that close to being a fan. For real. Happy Friday night. Thank you so much. I love that. I absolutely love that. Naomi says, watching Reese has got me through the passing of my favorite human, through a surgery and recovery, because sometimes it's easier to watch her and get a laugh or two than wallow in my stuff. I love that. I really do. That's what we're doing, right? We're content creators. One of the new things is, right, this social media footprint, right? Like how many people will listen to things that you say, right? Do you have influence is now a thing. And it's a thing that people who are not successful really start hating people who have any kind of a channel. They're not going to like you, I promise. Question, Tommy, I know journaling one way, but how do you prepare for something that you know is going to be really difficult, and it's going to lead for me to food? Okay, this is the best that you can hope for, honestly, is to know that something that hard is coming forward, because what you're going to do is put things into place. Don't trust your head, right? Don't trust your brain. We need an external hard drive. So in my journal, I would have a checklist of stuff I was doing every single morning. Really like canary in the coal mine stuff, Mary. Asking yourself, am I doing this? The idea being these questions are going to let you know if you're sliding backwards or you're moving forwards. You feel me? You cannot trust that to go on inside your head. It's not going to work that way. So you're going to need it in the external hard drive. Start writing in that journal. Start putting down a daily routine. And in there, have questions that you are asking and answering every single day so that you don't slip a little more each day, slip a little more each day, slip a little more each day until you're so far gone that you're going to have a tough time getting back. Yeah, there's something to that, isn't there? Zelda, truthfully, this will not pass, but that's okay. Jenny gets chatty. Good to see you. Jason P says, can't help myself. I love the lifeboat. Love you, Jason. Jenny gets chatty, says, is it possible that people who hate on you for using THC are those who struggle with their own sobriety and can't take anything or will relapse? Absolutely. That is a chance. Absolutely. Yep. That's super legit. I think that for a lot of people, I mean, they obviously came from the 12-step model, right? I mean, it just seems real obvious because of how hard they push strict sobriety, nothing else. And you don't go to those because you don't have a problem, right? You tend to go to those because you have a problem. And very often, yeah, they can be white knuckling it and just hating anybody who seems to be having a decent time in life. You know, people who are happy, that's a bummer for people that are out there struggling. It's sad, but true, right? It really is. It's disgusting, but it's the world that we're living in currently. I dig massively this community, and I'm not roping it off at the boat. You feel me? I'm talking about this community that seems to go from show to show. You know the shows I'm talking about. Obviously, I'm around Real Table, and it's just an amazing group of people, right? It really is a super unique group of people, and everybody that comes here feels it. They all feel like they can come here and open up and start to heal and start to work through things that normally they bury. There's never been a doctor in history that said, hold that in like this. Don't share it with anybody, right? And things will get better. Said no doctor ever. Darla, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Darla, if you wanted to put a message with that and forgot, just write it and I will pop that puppy up there for you, because you most assuredly earned that message. Thank you for your generosity. I really appreciate you, Darla. Jen, it is, but look at all of the love on these channels. So much more love than hate. The hate is just louder sometimes. You know what? I love that. I love that. I love that somebody sees that and points it out, because it is the truth, people. It is the truth. Okay, we got a couple of loud jackwagons. Might be 10 of them. Seriously, 15 of them. 2 who are making all of the waves. 3 that are making all of the waves. The number of people who love us, the number of people who reach out to us and say beautiful things, the number of people who are there every day just to be kind outnumbers it 1,000 to 1. What's that? Yeah, they drown them out 1,000 to 1. They really do.
Sorry, I'll shush.
No, you're good.
I'm so excited.
One tough chick. You have my permission to go meet what's his name? Morpheus, the god of sleep. Go in there and knock yourself out. Literally. Lori E. comments, seems to be that people do not think twice when an actor or musician gets royalties when their art gets played. How is YouTube creator getting paid different? It isn't. And you know something? Here's what one of the things that the haters don't get. When you have a community and the community is super freaking tight and everybody really does care about one another, this does become art. It probably seems like we're farting around, but this really does become art. We're creating something that people will come back and look at. We're creating content, which, believe it or not, this is kind of it is a big deal. And there are people now who go, I want to be a part of this art. They put up super chats because what they have to say, they're like, no, this is going to be a part of this. I want that up there. And this is something that I think people miss the concept of. But so often it's people that really want to be a part of the show. They just want forever for whatever they were about to say to be there. It's a cool concept. It really is. About 8 or 9 years ago, I worked for a lady who was hardcore 100% abstinence. I didn't stay long. It didn't make sense to me to try to pressure people off of Suboxone. Yeah, yeah. Um, those people are a bummer. I'm sorry, they really are. Those people are a bummer. That the preaching of 100% abstinence and just being, I don't know, militant about it, right? You're starting off the entire process from the leg of hate, right? It's never going to work. It is never ever going to work. By the way, if you quit that route and you go complete abstinence, God bless you, right? If you're trying to raise a drug-free kid, preach abstinence, right? But pretend it's just like a sex talk. You're going to preach abstinence to your daughter or your son. However, if you don't do that, if you're not going to go the abstinence route, which I really think you ought to, then please make sure you use control and you explain that protection, condoms and all that crap, right? We might want them to be abstinent, but we're gonna preach safe sex. You got to do the same thing with drugs. You got to do the exact same thing with drugs, right? We can preach abstinence, but if by some chance your kid just smoked a little bit of weed, right, and college is over, and the only thing these kids that you ever did was smoke a little grass, you won the lottery, right? Regardless of what this woman earlier in the night thinks about. She saw Reefer Madness one too many times. You feel me? But they want their voice to matter, and no matter how loud they get, their message will never be heard when it is meant to harm. Yeah, and they're not even clever, right? Like I've said before, I know you guys hate him, but there's a guy out there that's basically a troll. That's what he does on his channel, but he's entertaining. He really is. I understand why people watch him, but most of them I don't even find entertaining. DNV, good to see you. Love Jersey. I've been so blunt to my niece who just turned 16 yesterday. Good, Jen. Good. That's what you have to be. You absolutely have to be that way. You understand? Lester Crochet says, life is better on the lifeboat. You know what? I like that. I really do. I like that. Hey, Mary, I'm not mad at you. If you smoke you smoke weed every day due to your pain and it's helping with your pain, which one of you jackasses wants to tell her to stop? For real. Anybody want to tell her that she shouldn't be treating her pain? Raise your hand. How about that? Genuinely says, I don't understand how people find, people find like the hate and all that stuff. Here's what happens. If you're super active within a community, the haters are going to end up in the feed of around me, around Reese, because the algorithm knows that if they put a hate video about one of us in, it's going to be almost impossible for you to not click on, right? It's going to be almost impossible for you not to. So that's kind of what they are going for. Chris says drugs don't grow. They must be processed. And even the ones that do grow need to be processed. There are very few drugs that you can just take right out of the ground and use. Cannabis being, the real notable sort of holdout in that. The poppy needs to be really manipulated in order to turn it into. You can absolutely eat the sap, but we're not talking about the same thing. It's pretty weak. You know what? Electric Boogaloo, this is a great comment. I am sad when someone goes off the rails and turns into an idiot. I grieve the person they were the day before they committed to that crap course of action. Everybody get that? Because I know there's somebody out there that's going to be watching this today. You know exactly who I'm talking to, right? I grieve the person you were the day before. Friggin' awful. Wow. How cool is that? I'm going to make Quibs watch this tomorrow because this, honestly, this is the greatest stuff in the world. Reese sharing her journey has triggered my own toxic past, present relationships and gave the courage to sit in my journal thoughts and stop using excuses to move towards wholeness. Forever grateful. My God, how cool is that? I love that. I love that. I love that. I love that. Anne says, my husband was a just don't kind of guy, a la Nancy Reagan. I know you're going to be curious. So if you want to try alcohol, you'll do it when you're 21 and with me. Honestly, it's better if you're honest. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. And you know something? I kind of thought that my days of having those conversations would be over. Hello, Kat. Glad you're here. I thought those kind of conversations would be over, but obviously now they are not because I'm going to be spending an awful lot of time with Hux, and that's going to be a conversation that I'm absolutely going to have with him. You know, but I am going to preach abstinence, but I am going to teach safe drugs the same way you teach safe sex. You tell them what drugs out there are going to kill them, right? Because there are a ton of them out there that can absolutely kill them. Tommy, is your email Captain Tommy Scoville or Tommy Scoville? Just Tommy Scoville at gmail.com. That'll do it. Incarnasol, that's a great answer. I don't know what the question was, but I love the answer. Blessed. I don't have a definitive answer for you, but a suggestion I hope will be helpful. Focus on loving your aunt and doing fun things with her while she is with you. Make joyful memories. Have the balls to ask your aunt what she wants. Right? Communication is a beautiful thing, but sometimes it's scary as hell. You know that this is an end of life thing, right? It's not going to be a pleasant conversation, but you need to have it. What can I do in these last days to make your life better? What can I do in these last days to make this as easy on you as possible, or make it so that you can, you know, if they want to leave things behind. Big push these days for people who record videos and things that generations can see at a later time. I think that's kind of cool. But talking to the person, very often we're so concerned for the person that has the terminal illness, and usually they're way better equipped than we are. They've been dealing with this for a hot minute, and they are usually very accustomed. I mean, they have accepted what their future is. So have the guts to really open up and have a conversation with her about that. Real question. Why don't people appreciate how particular our experiences and needs are? Let people live their own experiences, healing life the way they find most healthy. You know, here's the thing. They don't care, right? They don't care. Sadly, that's kind of the truth, right? The question is, why don't people appreciate how particular our experiences and needs are? Let people live their own experiences, healing life the way that they find most healthy. There is a group of people, right, who are never going to allow that to happen. Simply put, we talked about this yesterday when it was over on Quib's channel. There are people who the only way that they rise is by pushing down on other people, right? It's like telling your girl that she's stupid, right? Or telling your daughter that she's fat, or any of these things that you're systematically doing to keep people down, and in the same process make yourself feel like you're a bigger dick swinger than you are, right? Like that stupid club these guys are in. Right? It is this is a dope channel, pun intended. You would not know you just had adjustments. Double salute. Thank you, Chris. Really appreciate you. Are you still good with Aaron? Never hear either of you together anymore. We don't spend a lot of time talking. He is as I've said right from Jump Street, he's a really busy dude. And I don't think I'm in the cool kids club. You know what I'm saying? I don't think I've been in it for a really long time. And I don't have anything crappy to say. I don't, but I don't think I'm part of that club. I think I'm sort of kind of an outsider on that. And maybe that's the place to be. Honestly, that might just be the place to be. I'm pretty fired up about keeping drama in my life to a minimum. So yeah. But I have nothing against the cat. You know what I mean? So I think we're good. We don't talk, but I think we're all right. I don't, if not, I don't know any other, last time I heard we were. Tommy, when you told Hux you loved him in the 1 year anniversary video, did you see the smile on his face? It meant the world to him and it showed. If you didn't see it, go back and watch. He loves you. Well, thanks, Lori Lee. He's a really excellent kid. He really is. He's a really good kid. We are all terminal. Jen Marie, damn straight, right? "59 days away from Xanax, self-medicating, overprescribed dosage. I feel so much cleaner." God bless you, Alex. That is not easy, man. That is not easy. If anyone else is listening, benzos cannot be quit cold turkey, right? You cannot do that cold turkey. Please talk to a doctor. You can die quitting benzos cold turkey. Xanax is a benzo, right? If you hear it end in that AM kind of sound, diazepam, lorazepam, fluindapam, they all sound like that same PAM kind of sound. Darla says, cannabis affects everyone differently, and one can use the terpenes for their needs. Cannabis is not what it used to be. I commend you for using it to improve your mental well-being and help you. Thank you, Darla. Sweet Tea says, I had to stop this video and go check out the infomercial. Baby Tommy, and how far has audio and video come since then? Yeah, really, right? Really, really awful. I'm in your cool kids club. I love that. Thank you. Lenny, good to see you. Yeah, I'm cool with the outsider thing. I promise you. I think there was a time that might have bummed me out, but it certainly doesn't anymore. You're absolutely right. I was an expert witness on his channel to talk about drugs. And you know what? To talk about prison. I'm proud of the stuff we did together. They got unbelievable amounts of views. I think the first show that he and I did together is over 300,000. If not, it's really close to that. We got a lot of views. So I really enjoyed working with him. I really did. And obviously it was great for the channel. I met all of you. Genuinely 2 weeks alcohol free. Holy crap. How great is that? KAG, we got your back. After 4 years of sobriety, following decades of using, I'm terrified. Well, not suffering in silence is the first start, right? Coming here and saying I'm terrified is a really good thing. Anna, good to see you. Coming in late, but I will replay after the stream is done. You got a golden girl. I loved her call out today. All the cowards tucked their tails and went deaf and dumb. Funny how that happens, right? Funny how that happens. You know what? I hope he's busy focusing on his lady. I think that's what you're supposed to do. I hope that is I hope that's the case. I hope the two of them are in bliss. I mean that. Nothing would make me happier. I'll be honest. I'm doing all right. I'm pretty happy. Okay. You know what? I'm going to spend a little bit more time hanging out with my kid. See if I can't throw him in the pool before I wrap it up here this evening. But I love you guys. I really do. And you know what? I love those of you who feel the need to question stuff. Honest to God, I don't hate you for that. The people who are dicks, the people who do it with that attitude, like, they're already coming at you from a place of hate. can ask me any question you want. If you don't come from a place of hate, we can work something out, right? I have no problem answering those questions. But if it's just BS and you're just here to be a douche nozzle, then I'm not going to. Somebody, what did I hear? Someone called somebody earlier. Twat waffle. I think that's what I read. Good night, Naomi. Yes, Coach Lisa knows what's coming. I am the Admiral. That's the captain. And this right here, that is a cat in a basket, everybody. What a good looking kitty. Look at that. You're a good girl, Squirrel Nut. What a good kitty. She is the best. All right, people, I will see all of you tomorrow. Between now and then, reach out and try to save somebody. All right? God bless.